Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Soyam adya mahārāja bhagavān bhūta-bhāvanaḥ kāla-rūpa vatīrṇo syām abhāvāya sura-dviṣām. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki. That Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, in the guise of all-devouring time, kāla-rūpa, has now descended on earth to eliminate the envious from the world. Purport. There are two classes of human beings, namely the envious and the obedient. Since the Supreme Lord is one and the Father of all living beings, the envious living beings are also His sons, but they are known as the asuras. But the living beings who are obedient to the Supreme Father are called devatās or demigods, because they are not contaminated by the material conception of life. Not only are the asuras envious of the Lord in even denying the existence of the Lord, but they are also envious of all other living beings. The predominance of asuras in the world is occasionally rectified by the Lord when He eliminates them from the world and establishes a rule of devatās like the Pāṇḍavas. His designation as kāla in disguise is significant. He is not at all dangerous, but He is the transcendental form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. For the devotees, His factual form is disclosed, and for the non-devotees, He appears like kāla-rūpa, which is causal form. This causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the asuras, and therefore they think of the Lord as formless in order to feel secure that they will not be vanquished by the Lord. Om Gyanativedandasya Jnanarashalakiya Chakshumitam Yena Tasmai Śrī Gurave Namaha. Śrī Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhūtale Swayam Rupa Gadamaya Dadati Swavedantikam. Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. Kata Yata Yata Yasmin Duskuram Sukuram Bhavet Vishate Vipyativsha Śrī Chaitanya Nandanamitam. Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's an example given by Prabhupada in regards to death. So he gives the example of a cat and its kittens, and a cat and a rat. So when the cat catches the rat in its mouth, then the rat feels pain, suffering, distress, death. But the same cat with the same jaws, when it picks up the kitten, how does the kitten feel? I feel safe, love, security. Everything is all right. I feel happy. So this is the Krishna who comes in the form of time to destroy everything. For the atheists, in the 10th canto, in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says he comes as, for the atheist, he comes as death. Take everything away, all-devouring death. But for the devotee, Krishna comes when death comes. You know, Krishna comes to embrace you. We say it, we heard about Dhruva Maharaj last night. So when he was going back to Godhead, the Vaikuntha Basis, they came with this Vaikuntha plane. And I said, okay, time to go. And how did he board the plane? He used death as a step. He stepped on the head of death to board the plane. So death is actually, for a devotee, they're looking forward to it. when His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and then he made his preparations and made his announcements to the devotees that yes, it's time to go. He called it a change of service. I had never seen him so enthusiastic before. He was very enthusiastic. Usually you get the death notice and everyone's like, oh no, what do I do? Obviously he was also deep and contemplative, making sure that he was very Krishna conscious and setting the example how to die. But in terms of himself, he was very excited. He was like, okay, yeah, let's go back to Krishna, no more of this material body. You could see the opportunities of service are going after it, going through the process of death, of leaving the body. Very enthusiastic. I don't know if you caught some of those kirtans, in Vrindavan. So energetic. He put everything in it. Maybe he just wanted to leave during the kirtan, And Jayadvaita Swami says, you have too much energy for a dying man. So for a devotee, death is not a big deal. Even old age is not a big deal. Maestro Kadamba Maharaj will mention about the devotees of Jaipur and the Radha Govindaji temple. And there are many old people, many old men leading the kirtan, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. So many old men, big cut, big wampus, and they're so enthusiastic. And then the ladies are dancing in the kirtan, very nicely. Old ladies. He said they're so old, the noses and chins are fused together as one. But they are dancing very nicely. So what does it look like that's going to come up soon? Look like dancing like gopis with Krishna. So old age is just, okay, it's soon I will join Krishna. It's not a big deal. Even the things of disease is not a big deal for a devotee. Usually we working hard to serve Krishna, sleeping less, eating less, making sure devotees are okay, making sure the program is okay, Sanatan is stressing out. Making sure everything's organized, prasadams come on time, and there's a lot of stress. And then what happens? Oh, you get sick from exhaustion. And what happens? You sleep for 3 days or something. Oh yeah, Krishna wants me to take a rest. Or you can see it as Krishna is so kind to remove my karma. Yes? Tate kam anukampan shushimikshimano bunjiyanatmakatam vipakam vipavapavi vedanta namaste jivedu sumukti pade sadayabhak. That's Lord Brahma prays. So this verse, you can note it down, 10.14.8. It's called the attitude of gratitude. So Lord Brahma prays that, oh my Lord, for your devotee who's patiently waiting for your mercy. At the same time, he suffers the reactions of the past misdeeds. What I did wrong in the past life, I go through that. But even though he's going through the suffering, he still pays his obeisances with his heart, body, and words. So he's still offering obeisance with his words, with his heart, and with his body. And in that way, the kingdom of God becomes his rightful claim. You become like an heir to the throne, kind of thing. So it's commented in the Purport that just like a rich man and he has a son. So if the son wants to get all the money, what does he have to do? He just has to stay alive and he gets all the money, right? After the father leaves. So in the same way, we have to stay alive in Krishna consciousness. So when that disease comes, when the old age comes, we can still, with our words, chant the holy name. With our heart, pray to Krishna. Without whatever the body can do. Maybe move the beads or something and chant Hare Krishna. And we saw that even with His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj. he did not stop chanting his 16 rounds. He couldn't even speak because there was a point that he had so many tumors in the lungs, so he couldn't even speak. But he kept the beads in his hand, chanting in the mind. Amazing. It's hard for disciples now, and now we can't have an excuse to drop 16 rounds, He set the example. And even Jayadvaita Maharaj told him, you don't have to chant. And then Maharaj said, please don't give me this instruction. Please don't. So it reminds us of Haridas Thakur, isn't it? So Haridas Thakur, being a Mohammedan, he couldn't go to the Jagannath Mandir. So Mahaprabhu would arrange for Mahaprasad to be brought to Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur, I think he was like 40 years older than Mahaprabhu. He was much older. They appeared much more earlier. Advaitacharya and Haridas Thakur were contemporaries, and they were much older than Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprasad was brought to him, I think it was by Mukunda, I can't remember who the messenger was. And Haridas Thakur was lying down. He was getting old, no energy, and he's just trying to chant. And then the devotee brought prasad. Yes, Mahaprabhu has brought this maha for you. And he says, why don't you honor it? And he goes, no, I have a problem. And what's your problem? I can't finish my rounds. Have you had that problem? I can't finish my rounds. And there's a quite interesting purport there, where Prabhupada says if someone feels tired while chanting, then they should just chant louder, and you won't feel so tired. And so yes, he says, I cannot finish my rounds. And Haridas Thakur was chanting 300,000 names every day. I think it was something, is it like 192 rounds or something like that? So that's nearly like 20 hours of chanting or something. It's a lot of chanting. And he says, I cannot take prasad until I finish my rounds. So he just paid his obeisances to the Mahaprasad and then tried to keep chanting. But he looked like he was too weak. And then word got to Mahaprabhu. He said, it looks like he's really weak and he cannot chant. So then, Mahaprabhu says, you don't have to do this. And same thing, Haridas Thakur says, no, please don't give me this instruction. What will I be without the holy name, without chanting? So you can see how the exalted devotees of today are just falling in line with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. Actually now is the Chaitanya Leela. We're all part of it in here and now. And you may think, how is that possible? Well, Prabhupada said that if you chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regular principles, you go back to Godhead in this lifetime. I guarantee it, I guarantee it, I guarantee it. But then we read in the Krishna book, in the Bhagavatam, that usually what happens before going back to Godhead, you do some, what do they call it, orientation. Like you get a job, they do orientation. So you would go to a universe where Krishna is having his pastimes. And then you'll learn how to serve in the spiritual there. It's still in the material world. And then you go back, like this. But Prabhupada is saying this lifetime going back. Because by entering into Prabhupada's ISKCON and serving there, you're serving in Chaitanya Leela. Even though you haven't left the body yet and it's a new lifetime. No. Here and now, we are serving in the pastimes of Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Isn't that amazing? This is the gift of Prabhupada, that we can enter the pastimes here and now. This is what it means to be a devata, or an obedient servant of the laws of God. The last verse was talking about being a cooperator with the Lord. And this is what this Sankirtan movement is all about, to cooperate with the will of the Lord. And the number one desire of Krishna is to deliver all the conditioned souls back to Godhead. And this is, anyone who touches this movement in any form, any way, they just see a devotee with tilak. Oh, I like that on your forehead. I like that. Sometimes devotees, they like it, And then now there's a trend in Australia, they call it the skullet. You know what a skullet is? It's pretty much Sika. Yes, yes. The haircut is just everything shaved and you leave the back. So we did like a whole tour of like North Queensland, and all the Aussie blokes, they all got a skullet, mate. So then we're going there with Harinam, and then they see our Sika, oh, he's got a skullet, mate, wow, yeah. He's one of us. Just touch that way, appreciation for the devotees, for the Sankirtan movement. Their devotional service begins. Try to mahāto bayat. That just by little service on this path of bhakti, there's no loss or diminution. You cannot lose that. It's eternal. It's the spiritual bank account. You know, when you want to get a bank account, what do you look for? Interest rate. How much interest do I get back? But the spiritual bank account is unlimited interest. This example is shown in the Nectar of Devotion. Krishna's qualities. There's a beautiful chapter, I think it's chapter 22, qualities of Krishna. And one of his qualities is that he's grateful. And the example is given of how when Draupadi was dragged into the assembly of the Kurus by Dushashan, and they said, yes, strip her naked in front of everyone. And then Dushashan is pulling at a cloth, trying to disrobe her. And then Draupadi is trying to hold on and trying to call out to Bhishma, nothing. Drona, nothing. And then she just like, oh, hey Govinda. And then and Krishna provided unlimited cloth. And he's just pulling and pulling, and it filled up the whole assembly. And the cloth that came out wasn't just the one cloth. It actually it was like very colorful, you know, jewels and sari just filled up the whole room, the intervention of Krishna. So Krishna says that every time I remember Draupadi calling out to me like that, my appreciation for her grows more and more. So how much do we remember Krishna? Sometimes. But how much does Krishna remember us and our service? All the time. So then the little service by the Bogans in North Queensland who like the devotee Sika, that appreciation, the interest from that spiritual bank account, that service is growing more and more for them. So soon they'll walk in through the door. What are you going to do? Yes, this is the power of the Sankirtan movement. We have to get out there and touch people's lives with the Sankirtan movement. That's how we go back to Godhead. Because everyone out there, they're not following Krishna's mission. They're all asuras, according to this purport. They are envious of Krishna being the Supreme Lord. Krishna, he can't help his God. He can't help it. He just is. You know, he's bhagavān. He has all the opulences. But the living entity, due to the misuse of that small independence, thinking, oh, let me try and be like Krishna. He's got everything. He's the center of everything. Let me try. But unfortunately, Krishna is everywhere. So you need a place where he doesn't exist. He even exists here. Don't worry, I'll put you into illusion. So they're all stuck in this jail of illusion. And they're all envious, not only of Krishna, but also other living entities. You know, they're envious of the gifts that Krishna has given them. Why does he have this? Why does she have this? Why does everyone like him or them? And, you know, this whole, how the materialists build up celebrities in such a way. Why did they do that? Building up famous people. Why did they do that? Oh yeah, you're so famous. Yes. Why? So you can see them fall down, cut them down. Ah, some scandal. Ah, look. And you feel so much pleasure. Ah, yes. See, I'm better than that person. Such a society where you're just like trying to cut everyone down to make yourself look better. This is not the spiritual world. Spiritual world is a society of not of exploitation and degradation, but of elevation. Let me put someone forward. Let me put someone forward to serve Krishna. This is the competition of service. Let me serve you. No, let me serve you. This is the spiritual world. And I've seen this, I've experienced this atmosphere before. So there's a festival in Shantipur. Advaita Acharya started this festival, Shantipur festival. And if anyone serves prasadam or takes prasadam at this festival, guaranteed Krishna prema. So every year it's arranged, buses from Mayapur all going to Shantipur. And there's buckets and buckets of khichdi. So usually when there's a feast, everyone running to sit down to make sure you don't miss out on prasadam. But no one sits down at this festival. Everyone's lining up to get a bucket of khichdi to serve. And no one wants to sit down. So they have a rule, you only can serve one bucket of khichdi, you can't serve more. And because of this mood of I just want to serve, I don't want to take, the atmosphere is so different. You don't feel any heaviness. It feels so light and uplifting. So that's the atmosphere the Sankirtan movement is creating. Goloka Pramadam Harinam Sankirtan. This atmosphere of let me just elevate others. What can I do to improve this person's life? So Krishna has come to bring us to release people from this envious nature by bringing the spiritual world, arousing our original love for Him. And the pastimes of the Lord do that. So we have the Bhagavatam that show all the pastimes of the Lord. So that's why it's so important to distribute the books, so we can arouse that. The holy name is so powerful that just by chanting one name of Krishna, you can be released from more sins you can commit in a lifetime. So purifying. And it's so much fun. You can't go wrong with it. It doesn't matter how degraded you are. I remember many times, we do, every year we go to Harinam in Sydney on Christmas Day in Bondi Beach. And it's packed. And people in an enjoying mood. They're all half naked, they're drinking and trying to enjoy the senses to the max. And we come there with Harinam, brahmacharis. I never thought even as a non-devotee, I never thought I'd do stuff like this, Why would I go into the middle of such places? And we're going there and we chant Hare Krishna, and everyone's coming in their bikinis and short shorts, and but then they chant Hare Krishna. And usually they have their own speakers, they try to have their own parties, have a good time. Nothing really happens. They just dance a little bit, drink a little bit, and just go woo like this. And that's it. That's their party for half an hour. When we come, everyone can join. All the kids can join, and you can feel the lust disappear. No one feels I'm lusty after everyone like this. No, we all dance together, have a good time. There's conga line. Everyone makes a line and dances around in the beach. More and more people come from different races, from different backgrounds, different ages. Usually if someone wants to organize a party on the beach, they have to do advertising, they have to have cool, we only have young people there, it has to be a certain image you have to be part of this party. We have many drinks and alcohol so you can relax. No drinks, no drugs, just holy name. Because we're getting natural happiness from the souls that are coming out like that. And they forget about their drinks, they forget about their smoke, they forget about sex, everything forgotten. Then and there they are devotees. They're on the liberated planet. Mamcha Vyochirena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagana Sameteta Brahmabhuyaya Kalpite. They're on the platform of Brahman, transcending the three modes of material nature. So nice, this Harinam Sankirtan. And this is what the Bhagavatam is telling us to do. Vyakta kara bhagavate kara bhagavāya kala-yugadama nama sankirtana sara. The Bhagavatam is saying again and again, kaha bara, calling out again and again, that the essence of Dharma in Kali Yuga is Nam Sankirtan. And then we have at the end, Kala-dosha nadi rajan asti eko mahaguna kirtanareva krishnasya mukta sangha param vijaya. That Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. And how many times you've had a conversation with someone, oh, the government's like this, oh, this is wrong, another thing is wrong, this is wrong. It all pretty much surrounds the four sinful activities of meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. We talk about BGT, oh, how bad. It's just illicit sex. It's just another form. Oh, now they're vaping, or oh, it's just an intoxication. Oh, now they have this philosophy now, speculation, gambling. Oh, now they're eating the cats, the dogs, Trump. Yes, just another form of meat eating. But we are totally going against the grain of society. These four regulative principles, as a devotee, we think, yeah, it's normal. No, this is revolutionary, following these four regulative principles. Going fully against the grain of society. And then we become transcendental by chanting the holy name. This is how Krishna is delivering everyone through this Sankirtan movement. This is why Prabhupada said, yes, you will go back to Godhead by these 16 rounds and following four regulative principles. It's not an ordinary thing. We need to see the power of this movement more and more. This Bhagavatam is creating a revolution in the consciousness of the impious life of a misdirected civilization. And, this is all part of the Golden Age. It just started 500 years ago. It goes for 10,000 years. We are the pioneers. You will be in books. They'll be talking about you. Yes, this Burbank temple and all the devotees who came and danced and chanted here. Someone will write about it. You don't think so? It'll happen, yes. This is the winning team. We think like the whole world is against us. No, we're on the winning side. Param vijayate Śrī Kṛṣṇa sankirtana. Param means supreme. Vijayate. Jayate means victory. It's like super victory. So supremely super victorious is the Śrī Kṛṣṇa sankirtana. But Maya, she cannot stop. Kali cannot stop this movement. But they can slow us down. We may think, no, I'm not making any progress. Politics, we think, this devotee is like that, I hate this. Forget it. Vanchakapa tarubhischa kripasinubhyavicha. Patitana pavnebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Your mind is your enemy. But scripture says that the devotees are like kalpa-vrikshas, fulfilling your desire, oceans of compassion, because they engage you in devotional service. They give you Krishna. No devotee is ordinary. They're all very special. Krishna loves them all very much. So we just pay obeisances to them. Aradhanana savisham vishnurananam param tasma paritanam devi taranana samacharam. Lord Shiva even says that the greatest worship Lord Vishnu. But greater than that, worship of the devotees. So this is our movement of worshipping Krishna with his devotees. And this is how we experience so much bliss and happiness. And making everyone a devotee. Somehow get them to chant. Somehow give them prasadam. Somehow get them to touch a book. Somehow let them smile and appreciate your tilak or something. If you're at work, in the water cooler, sneak in some maha water, I don't know. Just plant books everywhere, in the doctor's clinic, I don't know. There's many creative ways where you don't really have to confront anyone, We can sneak it in, be sneaky. Prabhupada was asked by his disciples, can we force people into Krishna consciousness? And Prabhupada said, force? No, you cannot force. And they kept trying, how can we convince? And can we force people? It's like, force? No. But you can trick them into Krishna consciousness. Like that. Another time, Prabhupada was with disciples, they're trying to preach in India. And like building temples and getting cement, and Indians, businessmen, they're always trying to cheat them. And it's like, so the disciples, they're all Americans and Europeans, they say, oh Prabhupada, these Indians, they're so tricky, they're so tricky. And then they realize like, oh, no, not you Prabhupada, because he's Indian, not you Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada says, oh, yes, I'm very tricky. I tricked you all into Krishna consciousness. So yes, let's use our intelligence to the max. Let's figure out who in our Śrī Kṛṣṇa has given for us to give them Krishna consciousness. Someone at work, someone you meet on your walk every day, someone at the supermarket. Carry some books with you, sponsor some books, carry like 3 with you wherever you go. They'll burn a hole in your pocket. Oh, somehow they need to go to someone. And then Krishna will send that person, I've been thinking about yoga, Sharon, Sharon or Janaine, or oh yeah, I've been thinking about mindfulness a bit, I've maybe read something about yoga. Oh yeah, I got this book here, yeah, have a look. Oh wow, what a coincidence. Yeah, nothing's by accident. Yeah, you're right, yeah. Yes. Or you just bring some cookies, some prasadam cookies to work. Yeah, I got some cookies for you guys. Wow, what is this? Okay. Yeah, I'll bring more, Or give your kids cookies to give to the other kids. And they'll also be part of the Sankirtan movement. We're trying to infiltrate all parts of society. Everyone's conspiracy theories have been famous for the last few years, and everyone's like, yes, the government and these demonic leaders, they're doing some rituals, and now that's how they control everyone's minds, so they can get what they want, But no, sorry, the main conspiracy is even higher, These demoniac leaders empowered by Kali, okay, we give you that. But who's more powerful? This Kali Yuga is not in charge. Kali is not in charge. This Yuga is in charge by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, my name, the holy name will be heard in every town and village. It's going to happen. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, everyone in this battlefield will die except you Pāṇḍavas, by my arrangement. You just take the credit. You become my instrument, or Savyasachi. So it's going to happen. So the conspiracy it's Lord Chaitanya conspiracy. This is not Kali Yuga, this is Chaitanya Yuga. And like I said, we're on the winning team. Our conspiracy is more higher than their one. So how to be part of it? We need to hear the Bhagavatam more and more. We need to make the Bhagavatam Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Prabhupada said the way that you make service Nityam Bhagavat Sevya is by always reading and hearing the Bhagavatam and following the instruction of the spiritual master. And then you'll always be part of Lord Chaitanya's conspiracy to take over Kali Yuga. Because yes, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda descended to deliver the world. It wasn't said by Harinam Sankirtan, but by the 2 Bhagavats, the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. So that person Bhagavat is Srila Prabhupada, and we follow his instruction. Be part of his mission. Somehow, today you can try. Touch someone's life with mercy. Put a book in your neighbor's letterbox. Why not? What could happen? You don't know. Something good. So this is what we're a part of, and I'll stop here. We'll leave some comments or questions.
So I was just saying, you were talking about, when people recognize devotees. So one time we went to the parliament. There was a program by the government. So the security guard, when you go in, they check, you got to go through the metal detectors and so on. So he saw Tilak, and as you said, he straight away recognized us, and he got into a conversation straight away just by looking at the tilak. And yeah, he said he will come to programs and things, and he took all the details. But yeah, I just sort of wanted to amplify the point that you were trying to make. It actually, when you are dressed like that, and Prabhupada always used to say, when you're going out, especially representing, the temple, you should go dhoti kurta tilak. And yeah,
Nice.
so
Thank you so much. Yeah, so maybe at work you won't wear tilak, but our preaching can be just our behavior. For them, at work you're always so peaceful. How are you? I don't know, they may have told you at work, how are you always so peaceful? So much is going on, I'm stressed, but you're always steady, calm, What's your secret? So even our behavior is such a powerful method. And it's just because we chant the holy name, we have a pure lifestyle. People are yearning to find out what we have. Yes. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu?
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for your inspiring class. This December campaign, we devotees tried to distribute the books, and our motto this year was, "A book a day keeps Maya away." So a lot of devotees took part in the book distribution, which was very, very successful. Bhagavatam sets as well. And on the Sankirtan note, I just wanted to say, sometimes as you go on the Bondi beach, which is very fearless of you to go there and do Harinam, but when you do book distribution, we meet so many different devotees, people on the street. Some would be drunk and things like that. So one time we were doing Harinam in Brisbane city, and there was this guy who was sitting in a pub drinking. So this devotee was in front of me. He went past the pub, but he didn't go inside. So I said, "Why did you miss him? He seems to be interested, but he was drunk." So I went inside and I just asked him one question. I said, "Why are you drinking, mate?" He said, "I'm drinking to be high." So I said, "If you take this book, it will keep you high forever." And he said, "Oh, really? What is this book?" I said, "It's the Bhagavad Gita. It's like a Bible." And he said, "How much?" I said, "It's about $15-20. And he said, just took out $20 and he gave it, and he said, "Thank you so much." So Prabhupada said, "What preaching will you do? Just give my book, and I'll take care of the rest." So I pray to Srila Prabhupada that there are so many people out there that even if they take the book, Srila Prabhupada will take care of them from there on.
Very nice.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, just one thing you mentioned about, gambling and speculation, right?
Yes.
So where does that, that line, where is like gambling and where is investing? You know what I mean?
Oh, investing. Bitcoin. Yes. So I'll just talk about the connection between speculation and gambling. So when one gambles, they're trying to do like minimal effort and get maximum result. But in bhakti, you're trying to do maximum effort and get no result. Right? It's all for Krishna. It's nothing for you. So that mentality is trying to be developed in bhakti. So if one gambles or speculates, they're obviously developing the wrong mentality. So when it comes to investment, I guess if you know how that thing works, you know how to sell and buy and the timings and all that stuff, I mean, that's the Vaishya, that's the Vaishya Varna, and that's why it's imperative for businessmen to give in charity. Householders need to give in charity. That's the main yajna. Otherwise you become possessive. This is all mine. I earned it with the sweat of my brow, and it's mine to enjoy. But no, Krishna is the creator, so he is the enjoyer. But under false ego, we think I am the creator, so then I should enjoy. So that's when speculation comes in. That somehow, like at the end of this purport, they don't like this form of Kala, so then they try and make him impersonal. You know, they say, oh yes, he has, you know, he's indescribable, the Lord. He has no eyes, no ears, no legs, no hands. How's that glorification? You called him deaf, blind, and dumb. You know, and they act like, yes, I love God so much. He has no eyes. Useless. It's an indirect form of atheism, impersonalism. So that's why Prabhupada, his pranampa, nivesesha sunyavadi pachidade shitarine. He's trying to get rid of this impersonalism, voidism. And that is done through the books, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did in Varanasi with the Mayavadis, headed by Prakashananda Saraswati. Prabhupada in a conversation said that chanting holy name, that's enough. You're simple, you can take that, everything is taken care of. But for the foolish, we give them philosophy. So, yes, we need to get rid of this. It's in our heart too. That's why we need to read. Otherwise, we'll create this impersonalistic kind of relationship with the Lord. And then we'll try and cut corners instead of giving out all and surrendering. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yes, Mataji?
Yesterday what happened is I reflected on the tilak when I was putting that on. We never think of past. It's like a ritual we do every morning, and even when I go to work I just do the watered down one. But yesterday it just came to me when I was putting the tilak on was that actually where does it originate from? And then it just came to my mind that it's the Gopi Chandan. It's called Gopi Chandan. So it's the you know, the dirt and the water is actually the Gopi, you know, all the gopis, and we're offering it to Krishna, the tilak and the tulsi, and it's such a powerful thing that we don't reflect on it because we just put it on every day and it's part of our, you know, attaché, I suppose. But the power of this tilak, it's so powerful. Even when we go out, I remember once when I went out to, just in a hurry, and I was just getting some fruit for offering for Krishna, and I went in the shop, and the lady just looking in my tilak, she said to me, "Oh, you're a Hare Krishna devotee," and just that, it just reminds me how powerful it is. But the origin, where it comes from, is also very powerful. So going back, and I thought, oh, that is so valuable, you know, that little $6 or $7 thing that we just get and we just keep putting every day. It has the power of all the gopis in there. It's amazing to reflect on it. Yes.
Tilak. Thank you so much for sharing.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, tilak's very powerful. My spiritual master would say that you're installing deities into your body. And, you know, that's how it becomes a temple. You know, you chant Om Keshavaya Namaha. So all these different deities in your body. You brought up something in terms of something like, oh, you're a Hare Krishna devotee, so she chanted the holy name. So usually when we go around on Harinam, we try and make people chant. We go, can you say Hare Krishna? So in Bundaberg, I did it to there was a group of old men sitting in the cafe and they were watching the Harinam. So I came up to one of them and go, can you say Hare Krishna? And he goes, no. And I kept going through the mantra and he goes, no, I cannot say Hare Krishna. And because I heard about this pastime with Das, he went into the courtyard of the Chankazi. He says, he's very eccentric personality from Chaitanya Leela. He's like, you rascal Kazi, get out of here. Kazi, get out of here. You know, and then he comes to the balcony. He's wondering, who's making all this noise? And he sees it's Gadada Das. So everyone knows he's eccentric. So he goes, Gadada, what are you doing? Why are you making noise? Go home, go to sleep. And then he goes, chant, Kazi, chant Hare Krishna. Like this. And he goes, Gadada, don't worry. Tomorrow I'll chant Hare Krishna. And then he started dancing in ecstasy, Gadada Das. He started dancing, the Kazi's delivered, you know. He chanted the holy name. So I never thought that would happen in real life. I thought he was joking, the man. But then his friends started laughing too, that he actually said Hare Krishna. And then his friend, he says, can you say Jesus Christ is Lord? And I said, Jesus Christ is Lord, of course. And he said, then how do you understand that? And I go, well, he fulfilled the mission of the Father. So of course he's Lord. We say that about the spiritual master, Chakudan Dilade Jamme Jamme Prabhu say, you're my Lord, birth after birth, the spiritual master. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that he's a Shakti Avesh avatar. So that's how he's Lord. We understand. That he's specially empowered jiva by the Lord to execute, to spread love of God. And then they got that too, so then they were very appreciative. So we have everything. We can relate to anyone. Especially if you have Bhagavatam, my gosh. This Bhagavatam is amazing, actually. Everything is in there. Science, romance, how to run a government, with Prita Maharaj, jokes. I mean, so every time there's like some king and he gets attracted to an apsara, there's pick-up lines. Everything's there. There's even transgender, King Sujumna, he went into the forest and then turned into a woman. Everything. There's nothing weird for us. We can talk about any subject matter and then bring it back to the Bhagavatam and bring it back to worshipping Krishna. This is what we have, so much wealth, actually. If only we could read more, isn't it, Prabhu? That's Prabhupada's main criticism for his disciples. You don't read my books. And Prabhupada sacrificed so much. He slept only 2 hours every day and wrote 60 volumes of books in 11 years. He knew this is important for us, the law books for the next 10,000 years. So we need to read the law books so we can really hit Kali hard. Yes. Anything else?
We've seen you for many decades, Prabhuji. And of course, it's always life has a lot of challenges thrown. And so, if you can let us, how is it that you have always, remained very steadfast and gone ahead despite, whatever challenges that may have come after you joined?
Yeah. I have to just say it's all the mercy of my spiritual master. He, myself is not a very determined person. That's why I asked the question yesterday. I'm not very determined. But my spiritual master is so kind that he would always create a situation where it would be so clear that to surrender to his instruction was the way to go. It was kind of like, it was either there was no in-between option. And I guess that makes it easier to choose for surrender. There's so many instances, but usually in relation to Harinam. I'll tell one story, maybe that'll illustrate it. So we went, me and another devotee, Urugaya Prabhu, we went to Ethiopia, and Jayadvaita Maharaj was there too. So Jayadvaita Maharaj has a disciple who's Ethiopian, from the manor, and so he wanted to preach in Ethiopia. There's no Krishna consciousness there. There's nothing, really. So we spent a week, and I told this devotee, who brought us in, that I have to do Harinam every day. My spiritual master says, if you want to conquer lust, make Harinam big. And then later on he said, you have to do Harinam every day, even if you have to go alone. I was like, okay, Guru Maharaj, thank you very much. And so I explained that to him. And he was so we came, and then we just went out and did Harinam and book distribution. So it was like the first Harinam in Ethiopia, yay! And but he was very upset about it. He had a whole different plan, like inviting important guests and preaching them that way. So we kind of had like a bit of an argument. But then Jayadvaita Maharaj, he saw the books were going out and people were favorable, and he says, okay, the spoils go to the bold, you know. But then, so in Ethiopia, they have like several tribes, but the two main tribes are the Amhara and the Oromia. And the Amhara, they're in charge of the government at the moment, and the Oromia, they challenge them, and they're known to be quite violent. So in all over Addis Ababa, the capital city of Ethiopia, there was like this Oromia festival. And I'll give more background about Ethiopia, because when you hear Ethiopia, you always think of starving children, and no, they're very opulent actually. So out of all the countries in Africa, there's like 52 countries. Ethiopia was the only country that wasn't colonized by Europeans. And Ethiopia, they practice Christianity from the time of Jesus, so even before Europeans. So they have that. And the beautiful churches everywhere. And pretty much the whole population, there's 100 million people, and something like 70% is under the age of 30. 80% of their economy comes from agriculture. They have such fertile land, and they all have like Brahman cows, and they have many different types of grain you never heard of, and majority of their preparations made with ghee. So you can see there's a lot of Vedic connection could be there. They also have aratis in their churches. They have brahmacharis dressed in saffron. So there's a lot of connections there. And they pride themselves on practicing or having like an ancient culture that wasn't destroyed by colonists. Yeah, and pretty much half the year, because they practice Christianity, half the year they're vegetarian. You know, the priests are vegetarian, and they tell, okay, you fast from meat this day, on this week, they fast from meat. So when we tell them like we're complete vegetarian, wow, you fast all the time for them, you know. So, and then we say this culture's from 5,000 years ago, and like every time we do a Harinam, big crowd comes, and then someone pulls out the books. You see this person's talking to one person, and there's a whole crowd around him, like 5 layers deep. And he's explaining about God, and they want to know this knowledge and what's going on. It's amazing, actually, Ethiopia. So, there's this Oromia group, and they're more like Islamic and known to be violent. And they blocked all the streets everywhere, and I have to do Harinam. And this devotee says, well, you don't want to do it at their festival, they may get violent. So we're trying to find a place where they're not, and we're driving for hours and hours and hours, trying to find where they're not having a festival. They're everywhere, you know, and we're in this car for like 6-7 hours already. And then I'm reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it says that the same potency that Lord Chaitanya had in those times of Harinam and everything is here and now. The same power is available now. So I was like, okay, we have to, and I showed this purport to this devotee. I go, we're going out. He goes, okay. So we go out of the car, and the driver, he's in like a roadblock, so he'll still be there. And we start going out and start chanting. And, you know, we're playing the drum, we're chanting Hare Krishna, and then people get into it, like, oh, you know, Africans love dancing. And they love Bollywood. Yeah, really. I mean, there's another incident, sorry, there's so many side incidents. So we're chanting, and this Muslim lady comes with hijab and everything. And she comes and she's like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And I'm on my own, I give her kata, she starts playing. These people can play double time right away. Yeah, they just, like this, you know. We play katas, oh, I can't get even 1, 2, 3, but they can play everything. And they're like, wow, you know, and I was scared because maybe like the Muslim brothers would come or something, you know, but they didn't come. And yeah, she was part of the Harinam. So yeah, we always had a good time. So then, as we're going through the street out of this car during this Aromia festival, then some guy, angry, like some sort of security, had some stick, and he's looking at me, he starts hitting me in the arm. And I'm like, oh no, you know. And I didn't want to stop chanting because I think if I die, best I die chanting. And he starts hitting me in my arm, keeps hitting me. He's looking at me like this, you know. And then another security comes, but he speaks English. And the crowd's watching to see what's happening. And he speaks English. He goes, excuse me, you speak English? And I just kept chanting. I didn't want to speak in case like I die, you know. And he goes, excuse me, do you speak English? And I go, okay, let me say something. He goes, yeah, we speak English. We're just in transit, and we're musicians. We saw you having a festival. This is the latest Bollywood song. Like this. And then I had a mantra card. This is the song. And he looked at it, and then he spoke to everyone, you know, and he said, you know, said something in Ethiopian, and then he comes back to us, and he goes, oh, okay, you want to join our festival? Okay, you're just in this is Bollywood song. Okay, all right. So they gave us some scarf, they put a sticker on my jump, and they said, okay, you are free to go. You are, enjoy yourself, like that. I was like, oh my God. So we just kept going Harinam, and they also had their Harinams. Like they were going around dancing with sticks, and it sounded like they were going, Haribol, 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 Goranga. That's what it sounded like. So we were like joining with them, they danced with us, and then we made them chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and like they all just got into it, you know. And they're like, hey, we got some food, you want to join it? No, we got to go. And, oh man, nearly. And then we got back into the car, we got back home. I was like, oh my gosh, that was so close, you know. Because, I mean, we were in the middle of nowhere. We drove so much. You know, if we got killed, no one would know where we were, you know. But it was such an interesting experience, just like, because Gauri Nitai will always protect you. No worries. You know, if you choose to serve Krishna, everything will be fine. Anas chintayantam mam yajana parapasate teshan nichabhiyuktanam yogikshami vihamiham. Krishna will preserve what you have and carry what you lack if you exclusively worship Him. Do something every day for the Sankirtan movement, and He'll take care of you, no problem. Can I say one more story? Because it's in relation to the purport. I wanted to say it, but I didn't say it. It's okay? All right. So this is in Mauritius, and this is the first time I went there. I was like 25, I had a lot of energy, and I was like fired up like anything. So I spent 2 months there, and every day I'm going, majority of the time I go to the main city called Port Louis. And they had many sellers on the street with their stalls, and everyone, the whole island started to know who I was. Because like ISKCON's quite big there. They have like 80 namahatas. There's only 1 million people. Maybe 3 or 4 temples. So everyone sort of knew ISKCON Hare Krishna. So I was coming through on my own with the drum, jumping. I would like jump high with the drum and yell like crazy. I didn't have a speaker then. I just yell like crazy. I'll go in everyone's shops and like this. So as I was going through this like street where everyone's got their, you know, setting up their street stalls. So on one corner, there's like a group of Muslim men, and they look like a gang, you know, they look heavy. And they always give me a mean look, always. Every time I come through, always give me a mean look. So one day, one of them came up to me, like, you know, like with like, I don't know, scissors or a knife, like something, and he's like trying to, it looked like he was gonna stab me like this, you know. I was like, oh no, you know. So then I just like screamed, like gave all my, I screamed the Shingadev prayers, like, Namaste! Like this, I fully screamed like crazy the Shingadev prayers, you know. And then he just got scared like this, you know, he just backed off a little bit, you know, and then, and he backed off, and then his friends started laughing. So he came at me again, and I finished the prayer. Like, Jai Jagadish Hare! I'm banging the drums. I was like, and he got scared again, you know. And some other Hindu men, they're like, yeah, good on you, scared him off, you know, like this. And I was like, oh, Nishinga, they protected me. Thank you so much, you know. I was like, heart is beating like crazy, and you know, and I'm going 10 meters more. And then 2 more Muslim men come up to me. And I'm like, no, Krishna, not again. I don't have energy. I put everything into the last prayer. I don't have anything left. And then they came up to me and they said, excuse me, do you read palms? Like, you know, can you read palms? For some reason I said, yeah. Yeah, I can, you know. So then he goes, okay, read your... And so I read the first guy. And then I said, okay, so you're born here, and then you get old, you get disease, and then you die. Like this. And he's like, you're not good. But the other guy was impressed. Like, oh, really? Yeah, he's good? Okay, yeah. You read my hand. I go, okay. He goes, will I get a good wife and become rich? Like that. I go, if you don't chant the name of Allah and dedicate your life to Allah, everything will fail, you know. He's like, oh, really? I go, yeah. You do namaz, you know, 5 times you bow and pray. It's like, no, you must do namaz. What's wrong with you? You go to mosque every Friday. He goes, that's something. You must go and speak to the imam how to become dedicated to Allah, because Allah is Krishna. You call him. I go, yeah, you should. He's like, oh, really? Yeah, I have books, you know. We just call Allah Krishna. You know, you have 99 names of Allah. Allah is, he has unlimited names actually. You know, and Krishna means he's all attractive. Allah means he's almighty. Al-Rahman means he's all merciful. So, these books are just talking about the same person. And this will show you how to become dedicated to him. You become pure Muslim, not just by name. You know, and he goes, oh yeah, thank you so much. I gave me a donation. And he says, if anyone give you a problem, you come to us and tell us. Where were they before? But it was nice because usually we give Muslims a hard time, being Hindus. But all I could see was that there are 2 types of people. Those who are sincere and those who are envious. So that was what was told me. So I think we can wrap it up. Thank you so much for your attention. Gantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai.